We have crossed a threshold. 1,000 voices, hearts, and minds united in a single vibration. Gratitude. And let me tell you, this is no small thing. This is not just a number. This is spiritual substance made visible. You see, gratitude is not some quiet whisper you offer after the blessing arrives. No, it is the commanding voice that summons the blessing forth. It is the power that opens the invisible door before your very eyes. When you say, thank you, not in reaction to the good, but in expectation of it, you have begun to wield the true creative force of the universe. And make no mistake, you are all creators. Gratitude is your golden key. Use it, and the locked gates swing open. Use it, and the storm begins to still. Use it, and you will find yourself walking on the very waters that once threatened to drown you. For every moment you chose to believe before seeing, thank you. For every time you liked, shared, subscribed, or simply listened with an open heart, thank you. But above all, for every silent moment in your own life when you whispered, thank you, into the darkness, into the unknown, into the waiting, thank you. Because that is where the real work happens. That is where worlds are changed. Gratitude is the shield and the sword. It silences fear, it slays doubt, and it invites miracles to take form. So today, let this be more than celebration. Let this be a declaration that we will live lives of thanksgiving, that we will speak words of power, that we will walk forward, not waiting for evidence, but giving thanks as if it's already done. Because it is already done. The divine knows the way. The path is prepared. And with grateful hearts, we will be led to it, step by step, victory by victory. 1,000 strong. 1,000 grateful. And this is only the beginning. Thank you, truly, deeply, thank you. Where there is genuine gratitude, fear cannot stand. A thankful heart is a fearless heart, and when we live in thanksgiving, we walk boldly through the fires of doubt and limitation, untouched and triumphant. Gratitude and fear cannot occupy the same space, for they are rooted in entirely different energies. Fear looks to the future with dread. Gratitude looks to the present with trust. Fear imagines what could go wrong. Gratitude acknowledges what is already right. When we shift our attention to what we are thankful for, we immediately take our power back. In that very moment, we move from the vibration of lack to the vibration of abundance. Gratitude is not passive. It is a force. It is a shield and a weapon, a divine frequency that dissolves fear before it takes hold. Too often, we are conditioned to believe that we must wait for everything to fall into place before we give thanks. We say, I'll be grateful when the money comes, or I'll be thankful once I'm out of this situation. But that is not the language of the soul. That is the language of fear disguised as logic. The soul knows that gratitude is not a response. It is a choice. It is an act of spiritual defiance. To give thanks in the face of uncertainty is to declare, I trust the process. I believe in a higher order. I know I am guided, even if I cannot yet see the path. There is no greater way to dismantle fear than to meet it with thankfulness. When the mind begins to spiral, when doubt creeps in like a thief, that is the exact moment to stop, breathe, and say, thank you. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for what is on its way. Thank you for the lesson hidden in this trial. Thank you for the strength being forged within me. Fear thrives on forgetfulness. It grows when we forget who we are and what we've already overcome. But gratitude is memory. It reminds us of every miracle, every answered prayer, every time we were carried when we couldn't walk. The energy of gratitude fortifies the spirit. It builds resilience not by denying difficulty, but by rising above it. When we train ourselves to be thankful in all things, not for all things, but in all things, we become unshakable. We may be moved, but we are never broken. We may bend, but we do not bow to fear. Gratitude places us on higher ground. It lifts our perspective so we see not the obstacle, but the opportunity. It allows us to say, even this is working for my good, and to mean it, not with blind optimism, but with sacred knowing. And in that place, fear cannot breathe. There, in the atmosphere of gratitude, only peace remains. Only trust remains. Only power remains. When we trust in divine order and give thanks for delays, closed doors and redirections, we activate spiritual timing, and we step into the miraculous unfolding of perfect outcomes, far greater than we could plan alone. So often, we find ourselves frustrated by the pauses, the detours, the things that don't go according to plan. We cry out, "Why is this happening? Why now? Why me?" But what if, instead of resistance, we offered reverence? What if, instead of panic, we gave praise? There is a deep and powerful truth that few truly grasp, that what appears to be a delay is often divine protection. What feels like rejection is often redirection towards something more aligned, more blessed, more prepared for our growth. When we give thanks not only for what moves smoothly but also for what seems to stall, we align ourselves with a higher intelligence that sees far beyond what we can comprehend. Gratitude in the face of delay is one of the highest forms of spiritual trust. It is a declaration that says, "I may not understand this now, but I know that something greater is unfolding." We are trained in this world to believe in instant gratification, fast results, quick success, immediate answers. But spirit does not operate according to human clocks. Divine timing works on the rhythm of eternity, and when we synchronize our hearts to that rhythm, we begin to witness miracles unfold, not prematurely, but at the perfect moment. There are blessings that require preparation, not just preparation of circumstances. But preparation of us. There are doors we pray for that would crush us if opened too soon. There are opportunities that must be matured, people that must be positioned, conditions that must align. And so the delay is not denial. The pause is not punishment. It is the universe whispering, "Wait, I am setting the stage for something better than you have imagined." When we begin to see this, gratitude becomes our way of life, not just for what has happened, but for what hasn't. Thank you for the job that didn't call back, for the relationship that ended, for the plan that fell through. Thank you for the no, for it guarded my yes. Thank you for the detour, for it spared me from destruction. Thank you for what I thought I wanted and didn't get, because I trust what is meant for me is still on its way, and it will not be late. There is divine choreography at play, and we are not the choreographers. But we are the dancers, and when we move with gratitude, we are led, step by step, into the most breathtaking routine, beyond what we could have rehearsed or even hoped. Every delay, every closed door, every long night is part of a sacred unfolding. And when we give thanks even in those moments, we become attuned to the rhythm of grace, and grace never misses its cue. You said, to see real transformation, gratitude must become a lifestyle, not an afterthought. When we wake with thanks, speak with thanks, work with thanks, and rest with thanks, life begins to reflect that vibration in unexpected, beautiful ways. Gratitude is not something to be saved for the mountaintop moments. It is not reserved for holidays or highlight reels. It is not a ribbon we tie around answered prayers. Gratitude, in its truest form, is a way of being. It is a daily discipline, a sacred rhythm, a posture of the soul that says, "I choose to see the good, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard." When we begin to live from this place, we start to notice that life itself begins to shift. It responds to our energy, and the vibration of sincere, consistent gratitude calls forth more to be grateful for. This kind of thankfulness is not performative. It is not forced. It doesn't require perfect circumstances or flawless days. It simply requires presence. It asks us to pay attention to the sunlight streaming through the window, the warm water running over our hands, the sound of laughter, the breath in our lungs. It invites us to look again, to find the gift in the ordinary, to unearth the treasure in what we've taken for granted. When we do this often enough, something miraculous happens. We become magnetized. We begin to attract experiences, people, and outcomes that mirror our inner reality. A grateful person cannot stay stuck, because gratitude is a spiritual elevator. It lifts everything it touches. But this shift doesn't happen by accident. It must be chosen, repeated, practiced. Just as the body is strengthened through movement, the spirit is strengthened through thanksgiving. We cannot expect transformation from sporadic praise. We cannot expect a harvest from seeds we forget to water. Gratitude must be woven into every part of our day, not just spoken, but felt. We begin our morning not with complaints or dread, but with a deep, deliberate thank you. We carry that spirit into our conversations, our work, our challenges. Even in disappointment, we whisper, "Thank you for what this is teaching me." Even in confusion, we declare, "Thank you because I trust what I cannot yet see." And when we lay our heads down at night, we recount the beauty, the lessons, the small mercies, and we close the day in peace. Living in gratitude does not mean ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to recognize that even in the mess, there is meaning. Even in the waiting, there is worth. Even in the unknown, there is a guiding hand. This way of life is not naive. It is powerful. It anchors us. It clears our vision. It strengthens our faith. And over time, it transforms not just how we feel, but how we live. The world may remain unpredictable, but a grateful heart remains unshaken, and that is a kind of wealth no circumstance can touch. Collective gratitude creates collective miracles. When people gather with grateful hearts, even virtually, they create an atmosphere that transcends space and time, igniting inspiration, healing, joy, and unstoppable momentum. There is a unique and powerful energy that arises when gratitude is shared. It multiplies. It expands. It takes root in one heart and blossoms in another. When a single person begins to live in gratitude, they shift their own life. But when a group, a family, a community, a gathering of souls, commits to living in thanks together, they become a force of spiritual transformation. Their unified vibration becomes a beacon, a call to higher consciousness, a magnet for miracles. The air changes. The energy lifts. Things begin to move that were once stuck. Doors open. Peace enters. Healing flows. What one person can accomplish with gratitude is powerful, but what many can manifest with shared thankfulness is beyond measure. Gratitude is the language of the spirit, and when spoken in unison, even in different homes, cities or countries, it sends out waves that ripple through the unseen. It is a song sung by many voices, harmonizing across distance, dissolving boundaries, and anchoring light into the collective field. We've seen it before. We've felt it in moments where people unite for a common purpose, a shared intention, a collective prayer. There's a spiritual electricity in that space. It doesn't matter if we're gathered in person or connected through a screen. Energy knows no walls. Spirit honors no borders. A grateful community is a spiritual powerhouse, and its impact reaches further than the eye can see. In times of darkness, this kind of unity becomes vital. When fear grips the world, when uncertainty clouds the future, when people feel divided or discouraged, gratitude brings us back to center. It reminds us of what is still good, what is still working, what is still worth celebrating. It allows us to stop focusing on lack and instead amplify abundance, not just personal abundance, but shared abundance. When we give thanks together, we don't just uplift ourselves, we uplift each other. We carry one another through. One person's testimony of breakthrough becomes another's encouragement. One person's miracle becomes proof that the impossible is still possible. And what begins as a community of gratitude soon becomes a movement, a gathering of conscious creators who refuse to be ruled by fear or lack. Together they declare, "We are blessed. We are guided. We are grateful. And because of this, we rise." This is the power of collective gratitude. It rewrites the atmosphere. It plants seeds of hope and waters them with joy. It changes families, friendships, and futures. It is sacred. It is unstoppable. So when we gather, whether in comments, conversations, or quiet agreement, let it always be with hearts full of thanks. Because in that space, miracles become natural, transformation becomes inevitable, and a better world, brick by brick, begins to build itself from the inside out.